Everybody, welcome to another episode of Movers and Shakers in Paarl. Today we've got a sports journalist, also someone born and bred in Paarl. His name is Goliath, currently working at ESPN. Thanks a lot for your time.
Great to be here, Max.
So John, just quickly, not often you have a happy Tottenham supporter.
Yeah.
I see 2018 has been good for you guys.
Pretty happy, but still a bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, as a Tottenham fan,
Yeah.
it's probably as good as it gets at the moment over the last, say, four years or so. Yeah, just need to win a trophy though to shut up all the Liverpool and
you've got the
United,
chance.
Arsenal supporters.
There's a Juventus coming this week, so
Yeah, I mean, to win the Champions League is going to take a lot.
Yeah.
Take a lot. I mean, we did well in the group stages. I mean, the way we handled Real Madrid over the way, that was fantastic. Borussia Dortmund. So I'm confident at home we'll be able to get the result there, and then going to Turin, that's going to be the tough part. But really looking forward to it, because I mean it's Champions League. The team is in the Champions League. Arsenal fans watching on a Thursday, so it's great.
I saw your post. Good morning, Arsenal fans.
Yeah, no, I sort of love the banter. I really love the banter. And for me, I mean, that's the greatest part about watching sport and loving sport is the banter, and part of that. I mean, most women probably can't understand is why their husbands take so long to they go watch the game, but afterwards the way you talk about the game and express your feelings and stuff like it. I mean, it's really part of sport.
No, cool. So John, just quickly, born and bred in Paarl.
Yeah.
Okay. Primary school.
I went to Charleston Hill Primary because it was around the corner. I think we were part of the first class of Sub A's.
Oh, nice.
During that time, Charleston Hill.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot of guys probably Ulrich Lakai, around the corner, Justin Kannemeyer was with us, the Woodlow Solomons and the Williams brothers. There was a lot of guys there, because basically I think it was close to home.
Yeah.
1989 we stepped in there.
Yeah.
It was still in the heart of apartheid. Walked in there, so it was, and I mean it's probably where my love for sports starts.
And then high school.
High school, went to Glenn Secondary.
Okay.
In 1996.
Okay.
Obviously from there it was my mom and them, they sort of looked at the future for me as an accountant or some kind of math boffin, but I think from a young age I sort of realized this doesn't really interest. I didn't have a lot of interest in it, so and I think that's probably where with a help of a lot of dedicated teachers there, how I got into writing. Funny enough, in September 2000, my matric year, I wasn't sure what to go study. And it's just, and then I read somewhere about journalism came up, which was never really an idea in my mind, but I always loved sports and I always loved to write. So at the end of the day, my parents didn't even know I sort of applied to Pentec journalism, and then I got in. They only take 40 students a year.
Okay.
So I got in and had an interview, had to write an essay, and from there it was just a fantastic experience to where I am now.
Yeah. So can I take it you're the most famous one out of the class of 2000?
I don't know. Some guys would say they were more famous with the ladies, I guess. Right? I don't really care about those things though. I mean, for me, school wasn't always great or always lekker. I mean, I think when I started in 1996, at first week I was sort of bullied.
Okay.
But those sort of experiences will make you stronger, and I think a bit more determined. I wouldn't say I was the greatest student on it. I was very lazy. I relied more on listening in class and then sort of taking that memory into exams and so on.
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't all about getting 80s or 90%, and I think in hindsight now, what the journalist makes, I probably should have studied harder, some sort of accountant or something. But I mean, it was for me though, it was just about doing what I love to do. I mean, I wasn't quite into maths and I had accounting, I had business accounting and economics also. Yeah, those were fairly interesting subjects, but I mean, I never saw a career in it though. I could promise you now that I've never worn a suit or a tie to work ever, and I don't think I would have sort of fit into that sort of environment. Because I mean, even as a journalist, you don't work 9 to 5. So I don't think I'm maybe as you get older, you wish you could work 9 to 5 with kids and so on and being married. But I mean, it's that life. I think I would have been really bored.
So after matric, you went to Pentic. How did you get from Paarl to Pentic? Did you use the train?
Yeah, I used the train for my entire studies. I think we had a lift club for a couple of months. With a couple of us was there at UWC Pentic. Especially during the winter time. I mean, it was during that time we still had rain in the winter and good rain. So, but you know, the train was also part of character building, I think. Not only that, the train was fun as a student. It probably wasn't as unreliable as it is now. And I mean, you meet so many people on the train, different people, different cultures. I mean, I played, you know, towards the end of my studies, I played club adjust with uncles that used to get on at Brackenfell and Kraaifontein and those places. And I played club adjust with them for a whole year, basically, you know, looking at when you walk into a carriage, looking for them, and you know exactly what sort of time. And for me, that was fun as well. And I think the first girl I had a crush on while I was at Tech also, she traveled with a train. And you know, that was sort of interesting times. A lot of guys couldn't believe why, because we used to take the early train, and then I would wait on the platform for her. And,
in love.
Not in love, I had a crush on her. So, but you know, that was the sort of thing, and that made Tech was fun. I think especially journalism. Journalism isn't really that serious. What is, maybe let me rephrase, it's a serious occupation. It's I think we do serious work, but I think most journalists are really chill people, and understanding people, maybe with a bit of a penchant for hard liquor, but quite relaxed people, and I think I fit into that environment a lot. I think I was probably the only guy also, I think probably the only guy from my journalism class. I actually also went into sport. I can't think of anybody else at the moment who went into sport, so that was also almost my thing. I think that probably was cultivated by my parents, especially my father, my family. My father was a big rugby man, big cricket man, still, and that's where my love of sport came about. And I think when there was an instance in primary school where we had a guy a student teacher who got to sort of give us a lesson, and one day it was about sports, and he had all these sports placards about famous people and their faces. And out of everybody in the class, I knew all of them.
Wow. Okay. So from a young age, already.
Yeah. I mean, and I wasn't just interested in rugby cricket. I mean, I watched Formula One religiously. I knew who Ethan Senna was, Alain Prost was. I knew who had won Wimbledon last year. Sports was my life.
And I mean, probably that time you had to make a more concerned effort to know what's going on, because DSTV wasn't available to everybody. Like nowadays, there wasn't social media where you can just see who's famous.
And there wasn't no internet.
And it was, yeah, exactly it.
The funny thing is, my father used to buy 3 newspapers a day.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
the Argus, the Cape Times, and the Burger,
Yeah.
and with the Paarl Post 4 on a Thursday.
Yeah. Okay.
So and I read a lot, and that's why I got all my information. The first thing, and that's what I think it's still, you know, one of my favorite columns in a newspaper is the results column, because I don't know who said it, but I mean the front page, as I think the quote goes, is men's failures,
Yeah.
but the back page we celebrate people, and
successes,
celebrate
yeah.
women and men. And that for me was fantastic, and that's the first thing I did. I turned the paper around, was straight to the sport and straight to the results column. I still think one of the best parts of a newspaper for me is the results column.
And so tell me, after Pentic, you got your qualification, and what was the first job?
Actually, I have to go just inside which was key.
Okay.
My in-service training after a year and a half.
Okay.
I struggled to get in-service training in Cape Town.
Okay.
I think there was some miscommunication somewhere, and for a couple of months I was at home while my colleagues, while my guys I was studying with, they were doing in-service training, and my late cousin phoned me one day. She worked in the Northern Cape, as she was also a minister in Parliament in the Northern Cape. If I wanted to come to the Volksblad, she can maybe pull a few strings for me and my internship there.
Okay.
So I mean, I told my parents, look, yeah, I'm gonna take this chance, and I went to the Volksblad. Now you can imagine I've been studying for a year and a half, purely in English.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So went to the Volksblad in Kimberley. The Burger Sisters newspaper. It's also very, very big Afrikaans newspaper. And I got there, and then I was immediately thrown in the deep end. You still got paid, I think, about 500 rand a week or something there. But I mean, I had a job in service, and that's why I think my love for writing in sort of really took off. Because because in service you learn a lot. I mean, in at tech you get the practical, the practicals there, but that in service training I think was probably what has made me probably a stronger writer and a stronger news hound. I worked with a lovely lady called Annetjie van der Merwe. I think we didn't see eye to eye when I got there, but I think when I left there, I mean, we very fond of each other. A great person, and I think she helped me open a lot of doors. Because when I went back to tech and I finished, I immediately got a job offer from Paarl Post.
Okay, perfect, nice.
To come and work. It was obviously close to home. And that for me was fantastic. Not having to go look for work after tech. A lot of people don't have that opportunity. And I think I spent 7 months at the Paarl Post under Anne career. 7 months at the Paarl Post, but I wasn't really doing what I wanted to do. I mean, sports was always my life.
Oh, so you didn't do sports at Paarl Post?
Sports at Paarl Post. I was more a general reporter.
Journalist.
You write about the weather and
at least you're never wrong with the weather.
Exactly. And I did though, was so lucky when one weekend I was driving with my camera and I managed to get actually, unfortunately, maybe with the person, but I managed to get a pic of somebody who was murdered. That I don't really remember that big case about, say, 14 years ago. So that was my front page pic, and that year that was also the newspaper that sold the most copies. Because of my front page pic, and obviously the topic. Other people in Paarl like to. That's just the main thing. And 7 months after that, I got the job. A mate of mine, Owen Cook, he was at the Burger in Cape Town. In the sports writer. And he told me that he would be moving. I think he went to the Northern Cape, or he would be moving and that his post was going to become vacant.
Okay.
And do I want to maybe apply? And yeah, I didn't think twice. I applied for the job as a normal sports reporter. Then I went for the interview, and the fact that I worked at the Volksblad, and I worked with those people. I was at Paarl Post for a couple of months. I think that sort of counted in my favor. But then they said, okay, you have the job, but the job is in PE. And then I thought, what the hell?
Yeah, you have to follow your dream.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably a chance that doesn't come along.
And I think that's those sacrifices you have to make.
And I think that's important lesson for every young kid starting to work or getting or just graduated, is that sometimes you have to take a chance. I mean, I went to PE, and it was actually a sad time in my life also because we had just buried my cousin. He was in a car accident in Uppington. So we came back from the funeral. I hopped into a bus to PE, and I stayed with another guy from Paarl, Dustin Scott.
Okay.
Stayed there with Dustin. We had I think our first flat, I was there. We had a 1 bedroom, but we were at the beach, on the beachfront, but it was a 1 bedroom. And then later on we moved into our house. But I mean, the type of experience I had there was fantastic. It was, I think it was probably the best 7 years of my life before I married my wife.
But I also think if you're starting to work and you're living in your parents' house and you move out of the house, it just makes you so much. You're forced to become more mature. You're forced to become more responsible. You're forced to use your money properly. So it makes you grow.
Yeah, that doesn't happen though from the start. As I found out in my first couple of months. I mean, there was a couple of guys from Paarl, also one guy from Paarl, Earl Meyer, Dr. Earl Meyer. He was also at the time he came to work there, and I think we had a bit of a jaw for a couple of good years in PE. I think we really enjoyed PE, but afterwards though you realize that but you're getting older, and your life isn't just about the jaw, the next party and so on. And I was also very irresponsible as a PE because used to get to work sometimes heavily bubble
of course,
because during the week and
you're young and you're earning a salary, so why not?
Exactly, and your salary lasted about 10 days. And I think a mate of mine also from Stellenbosch, Glenn Hendricks, you would know the stories, but we used to party for 10 days and then have French bologna and mayonnaise for the last 2 weeks of the month. That's how we used to operate. So but those were fun times. But the work-wise, it was absolutely brilliant. In my when I got there, they gave me the cricket beat, which is actually my favorite sport. Mickey Arthur was still the coach of the Warriors then. So I worked closely with Mickey Arthur, and then Russell Domingo took over as the coach of the Warriors. So there was a succession from those guys going from Warriors coach to Proteas coach, and they were fantastic guys, and actually guys, we had lots of respect for a rookie. I mean, this is an industry where people look down on you as a rookie, especially as a rookie, and when you're a woman it's even worse. And I think we've got some brilliant female sports writers out there, absolutely brilliant, but that's just the way the industry is. But got a lot of respect there, and I did my first ODI. But I actually did my first test match, South Africa versus England, 2004, which was phenomenal. Dale Stein's debut.
Oh yes, of course.
The one that he bowled that cracker to Michael Vaughan. It's my first experience. I had my first rugby test, I think it was the same year. South Africa versus France in PE. I'd done a hockey test. I'd covered netball.
So you actually gained a full experience
you
in PE.
do everything, in a place like PE, you tend, especially as a youngster, you tend to do everything.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like putting up your hand when you
Exactly.
know,
So
it's not just doing what you're appointed to
and
do.
I love the travel also. I think that's probably one of the great parts of the job. I used to travel the whole of Eastern Cape, and the Eastern Cape is such a beautiful place. Rolling hills and trips to East London, Grahamstown. It was just fantastic.
And then after PE?
After PE, I applied to Cape Town, the Burger, for a rugby position.
All right.
It was then, but they gave it to Stephen Nell, who's a good mate of mine. We started together on the same day, the 1st of January 2007. And they asked me if I wanted to do football with one eye on the World Cup coming up.
Okay. Yes, of course, 2010.
2010 World Cup. That was in 2007 when I started on the 1st of January 2007. And just over a year later, they sent me to go cover Bafana at the 2008 African Cup of Nations in Ghana.
Wow.
And, first time traveling properly in Africa. I mean, Namibia is not Africa. Namibia, South Africa is not Africa.
No, because
it's Europe.
I saw on your profiles that you've really traveled. The sport has taken you all over the world.
Yeah, it's been, that's I love traveling. And I love traveling while working.
So John, okay, so in Cape Town now, where does KweséESPN come in?
Okay, from the Burger, got a call one day from Ian Smith. He was the sports editor at the time. He's still now, I don't know what his new title is. He's still involved. Sports editor at the time at Cape Times, and he asked me if I wanted to come work there.
Okay.
That was 2008 August.
That is ESPN.
No, that is before.
Oh, okay,
before
sorry.
ESPN. So 2008 August, they asked me, look here, do you feel like coming to work for us? And then I went home and I told my father, Ian Smith phoned me from Cape Town, he wants me to come work there. He's like, it's a mouth. Phone that man back. Because our family's been reading Cape Town for 50 years. So I phoned Ian Smith back, we had a few meetings, and then I became the football writer.
Okay.
Covered the 2009 Confederations Cup to the World Cup, probably greatest experience of my life. And then, I covered another African Cup of Nations. Then the last one, Bafana, was in 2015. The last one also qualified for. And then when I came back from that tournament, Ian asked me if I wanted to do rugby.
Okay.
And I said, cool. I'm gonna do the rugby.
So you're doing all the sports except cricket.
Yeah.
Which is your first prize.
Exactly. But I mean, the rugby, I've always been a massive rugby fan and always been interested not only in the play, the politics, everything that goes around it. And then last year, in maybe July, I think, I get a call from Ryan Cooper.
Okay.
And they told me about Kwese. Before that, Kwese Sports. Before that, I've never heard of Kwese Sports.
I also never heard of it if it was.
Nobody's heard of it. And then I went on their website and checked, okay, but this is actually a sports website, KweséESports.com at the time. So they asked me to come to be the rugby editor.
Okay.
But what the lure of the job was is that they will be joining ESPN.
Oh, okay.
Probably the biggest
international
sports broadcasting giant. And they told me, we're going to join ESPN soon. Would I be interested?
Wow.
And I said,
of course,
you don't have to ask me twice. And I left it. But it was really difficult to leave the Cape Times. I think that was probably 8 pivotal years in my career. It was probably the best 8 years of my career as well. I mean, and working with the type of people I worked with, Zahir Adams, Ashfaq Mohammed, Rodney Reynolds, one of my favorite football writers in the country. We had great times and we won sports quizzes together. But then just moving on to Kwese Sports was, I think, great challenge, and it has been a challenge. I think we're trying to grow our brand with ESPN. That's working a lot quicker now. I mean, if I can just tell you about the Kwese Sports or Kwese. It's a Shona word, which is
everywhere.
Zimbabwean. It's everywhere, and we are like multi-choice. DSTV. Basically, we have our own TV decoder, and mostly in Africa at the moment, West Africa, some parts of Southern Africa, Uganda, East Africa, Kenya.
So Kwes is just Africa.
Yeah. Okay. So we still growing. We're still growing our market, but our offering at the moment is $25 compared to multi-choice is $100 in Africa. Yeah. So we are quite attractive at this point, and we are buying like sports rights, left, right, and center to show on our bouquets, because you know our ultimate goal is to be in every African country, and giving, because we all know DSTV needs some competition. Of course, you know they are a big dog, a powerhouse. And you know, one day we hopefully will get there, but now I'm working basically on our website, Kwes ESPN. So we are basically ESPN Africa. Okay. That's when we focus on all things Africa, but we also have a healthy dose of all sports. We are a multi-sport website, but we have the best NBA coverage in the world. We have the best NFL coverage in the world. Our football is also right up there. We've got scrum.com, which is also right up there with the best rugby website in the world in terms of European in the European market. So what I'm tasked with now is growing our South African market and our South African readership in terms of that. So maybe we would have been a year KweséESPN, you know, working as the biggest sports company in the world, and the resources, it's mind-blowing type of resources those guys are.
Just tell me, on the social media, when you started journalism and now, what difference has social media made in the sport journalism?
It's massive, it's unreal. I think because of social media now, everybody can be a journalist. It's sort of, you know, everybody can report something on Twitter or Facebook, you know, by scribbling a few lines. So that,
or copy and pasting from someone else.
Which happens most times. Seriously, it's terrible, guys, don't plagiarize. The biggest thing comes in is the quality. I mean, there's still, you know, quality writing, I believe, and breaking news would still beat any, you know, whoever you are with your 20,000 followers, and it will still beat you every time.
So tell me, how do you handle the haters and the trolls? Because I know in sports, it's like you can never be right. You can, it's like weather.
Never right.
So how do you, I mean, there are some times where you put in all the time, and then you write this article and you just get people bashing you all over the place. How do you just take it by the chin, or what happens?
It does affect you. I'd be naive to say it doesn't. But not as much as you. I think as you get older, you sort of take these things with a pinch of salt. 2015 World Cup, when I wrote a piece on Skalkberger saying that he must actually stay out of the back line, stay out of the fly. That was based on fact. A lot of people agreed with me, but a lot of people also disagreed, because his father also disagreed with me and asked, "But wie is die lady?" So you have, if you write something and you believe strongly in it, you also have to back it up. Because you have to present the facts to people. I mean, like a lawyer, you have to present the facts to people, and they must make up their own mind.
Tell me, okay, so John, so professional life out of the way, your biggest achievement to date, what is that?
My biggest achievement, I would say,
Oh, there's so many.
No. No, I mean, you know, my biggest achievement was probably just, you know, pleasing. Like for me personally, my biggest passion is equality in sport. And I'm proud of the fact that, you know, a few years back that I also contributed heavily to the debate in terms of, you know, why us as black people also have a rich sporting history and a rich sporting culture. I think that goes missing somewhere. I think my biggest regret is, and probably everybody that played non-racial sport during apartheid, is that we didn't sort of record our achievements properly. I think we've got a rich history in this country, and you know that's something I fought for.
Okay.
For that to be known.
Yeah.
And
put
something
it out in the public.
I will continue to fight for that. To you know, like, look here, rugby ball just we didn't wake up after 1994 and suddenly we got the rugby ball now. We've been playing rugby for hundreds of years. So you know that I think is the thing I'm proud of, that I could contribute to telling people that you know we as black people also have a rich sporting culture.
And then if there were two people that you would really want to interview, your dream interviews as a sports journalist, which two people would it be?
I've got I've always had, when I was a kid, I had two idols. Maybe just after Lance Armstrong was before the doping. Lance Armstrong was my absolute hero. He was, you know, June holiday, wherever that was, watching Tour de France and him going up a mountain. Obviously now he was he went up that mountain, but Lance Armstrong was my hero, and one of the greatest disappointments in my life was finding out that he doped. And then Tiger Woods.
Oh, of course.
Tiger Woods. Just phenomenal. I don't think people actually in South Africa realize how massive the guy is and what he's achieved. But you know, besides his achievements, just that sort of mentality Tiger Woods had. Tiger Woods walked onto a tee and he knew, man, you're not gonna beat me. Who are you? I'm Tiger Woods. And that's what's lacking in our sportsmen in this country, because, and let me vent a bit, because we get robots now as our sports people. They PR people tell them what to say, and you don't get this a guy who's a straight talker. I think you used to get, in my career, probably there's a couple of guys that I could maybe identify as guys who told you straight stuff. Good mate of mine still, Robbie Peterson. He was one of those guys who was a straight shooter.
Peter de Villiers fall under the straight shooters?
Yeah, Peter de Villiers shoots a machine gun. He's not always straight.
Have you interviewed him?
A lot.
Is it?
Okay. I used to ghostwrite his column also. He used to write a column for us. And,
yes, of course.
Last year, so also fantastic guy. And you know, one of the guys I think also I put in that category as a guy who believed in himself, who was just visual for me to say, and that's how I like my sportsmen. I mean, this whole humble, I'm humble, I'm humble. You are not humble if you say yourself you're humble.
True.
So I like my sportsmen fierce and competitive. And Tiger Woods, when he walked up onto the tee, you know, who are you? So I can't even win. That type of thing.
Tell me, and so how do you balance your lifestyle? Because of course sports is all on the weekend. You've got married and you've got a kid. How does that? Because that's your work. I mean, you can say I'm busy working when you're watching 90 minutes.
It's my wife knows that when I watch Spurs for 90 minutes, it's recreation. It's difficult though. It's really difficult. Especially in the last 3 years. In 2013, our son was diagnosed as with autism, on the autism spectrum. So it was used 3, and you need to be in a routine with him, and we need to have set routines and set bedtime, and
of course,
on a weekend set this, set that. So, and being a sports writer, where sports is so fluid and
24/7.
Anything can happen at any time. Alistair could see again that resign now.
And you have to cover it.
Then you can't be sitting on the beach. Say, but you can't nose skryf. Tell him to wait till Monday.
In your career, professional life, and your personal life, who is that one person that you go to for advice when you had a junk, or not a bad day, that you can bounce off ideas? Who's that one person in your life?
I think not so much bouncing off ideas, but I think my wife plays a massive role in my life. I think she's especially with Luca. she left. She was worked at Paarl Hospital, and she's a doctor, so she worked at Paarl Hospital in internal medicine, which is quite hectic, and the hours were work 24 hours, 30 hour shifts.
Wow.
And then she decided to resign and take basically a pay cut, working at Sonstra Hospital now. Just so she could have lekker working hours while still encouraging me to do my thing and work like I work, and that just having her, it's basically it's a godsend. And I mean, we come home, I think we both moan a lot to each other in terms of our work and what's going on. But I mean, we've got one objective at this moment, is to keep Luca happy.
100%.
And so far it's working. It's been challenging, but I mean, it's getting a bit better in balancing work with family life. I think it's helping me now with having just a bit more stability, not having to go to the office every day.
And of course your job also allows you to be very flexible.
Yeah, it's just when the traveling comes in, but I mean, that's part of the territory.
So John Goliath, 5-year time, what's on John Goliath's plan?
5 years time, professional golfer on the PGA tour. I'm joking. I wish. Too terrible. Now 5 years time, I'm hoping that that we're in a space, Kwese wise, that we have properly settled in South Africa with our decoder and what we want to do. That I'm still a part of that. I think that's gonna be a game changer for everybody in South Africa. Once DSTV gets proper competition, and hopefully I'm still a part of that, and hopefully we'd grown as the biggest sports website in the country.
Okay, perfect. John, just last 2 questions. So you've got 20, 30 future sports journalists sitting in front of you, and they've asked you to come chat to them. I mean, what message? I mean, you've been through this whole process now. What's that one message that you want them to take home?
Don't do it. Go study accounting. No, I think you become a sports journalist because of your passion for sports. I mean, you can't be a sports journalist and just think it's about going to getting free tickets and sitting in. I mean, you've got to have a massive passion, like all things in life. What has happened to me, though, I think, is I've had many lucky breaks.
But I think it's because of the decisions and the sacrifices you made that the doors open.
I think I've had, many lucky breaks. Maybe I was blessed. But I've never been since I left tech. I've never been unemployed. I never had to look for a job. And I think it's also that your reputation sort of precedes you. And it's not just about hard work. I think the biggest thing is respect. And that I learned from a young age from my parents is that if you respect people and if you treat people with the same humility, and there we go with if you just treat people fairly and treat them well, then you never know where when your name comes up,
of course.
Say, Miles, what a great guy, and let's give him a chance. And I think that's lacking in today's kids coming through. That's a massive. That's because they rather want to be cool and accepted than have respect for people and be polite and open the door for old people or women. So I think that is the biggest thing. Hard work, but also respect others and respect yourself.
Your worst interview ever?
Worst interview ever. That is quite easy. It was with a young Kama Billiard.
Okay.
Now it's Mamelodi Sundowns.
Okay.
Now you see him on Instagram,
Yeah. Yeah.
in the car.
Yeah.
But when he was a young kid, he came to Ajax from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
He was very shy.
Okay.
It was like, Kama, what do you like the most about Cape Town?
Yeah.
It's nice. Okay. Kama, what do you think? You know, you play Kaiser Chiefs.
Yeah.
Are you excited? Yes. Okay. That was probably the worst, but I mean, it was a shy kid. He just came from Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
He's just making his mark, and now you see him, and now he's grown.
Yeah.
And as a footballer and also as a person, you know, expressing himself. And, but I think that was the worst interview at the time. And I also, you know, one of the worst experiences, I think I fell asleep during an ODI game in PE. It was quite hot that day.
Yeah.
And we went out partying the night before. So and they caught me on TV in the press box. The cameraman in the press box caught me on TV. And somebody whistled, and I just opened my eyes and I looked past him, past the camera guy, onto the big screen. My face was on the big screen.
Yeah.
And my phone just started to leak. And my boss asked me, yeah, you're sleeping. What is sinus meds? This is probably the most embarrassing moment. Yeah.
Most famous person you met?
Most famous person I've met. Football wise, I would say Brian Robson.
Okay.
At,
when you are
at Old Trafford, a few years ago, Andrew Koopman was also former editor of The Sean, was a great guy, and Chester Williams.
Okay.
We went with Turkish Airlines. We were invited to go watch Man United play.
Okay,
and, I mean, that was a surreal experience. I'm not a Man United fan, but I mean, for any person, 10 minutes, if you were English football fan, you have to go once in your life. We went there 10 minutes before the game. The stadium was empty. I'm like, fast immense.
Yeah.
Just as the game was about to kick off, 70,000 screaming people, singing their lungs out.
Wow.
And I managed to meet Gary Pallister there, and Brian Robson. Was absolutely surreal because I was an England fan as well. That's where Paul Gascoigne, Gary Lineker, that's why I became a Spurs fan.
Okay. But John, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. I know Lighty was supposed to be in bed by the time you leave. That was the rule.
I think hopefully he's sleeping now. I'm hoping he's sleeping. But yeah, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And this is a great initiative. I think we've got a lot of great people in this valley and people who make a massive contribution to society. Thank you for